Our next shape is an ellipse. Now, an ellipse is cousin to a circle, and really, actually, it's not even totally fair. A circle is really a special ellipse. So that'll become clear a little later, but when you look at the equation of the ellipse, you see this circle-ishness, right? X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals 1. So I'm going to give an example, x squared over 25 plus y squared over 4 equals 1. What do you think the center would be there? Right, 0, 0, right? Right in the middle. Then we get this a squared and b squared. Now, here's the thing. A squared is whatever the bigger number is. It doesn't always have to be first. In this case, the 25 is the bigger number and the 25 is first, but it's not always that way. A is 5. Since A is under X, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, let me do that better. So it's all about what it's underneath. So the 25 is underneath the X, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I go right 5, left 5 for a major axis length here of 10. The b squared is what's under the y in this case, which is 4. So b is 2. So that means I'm going to go up 2, down 2. And the shorter, quote, diameter is called the minor axis. Up 2, down 2 is a length of 4. And then that's how I would draw my ellipse. So even though this one was drawn for you, that's how you would draw it. Then we have our C, and C is the focus. Or C is actually the distance from the center to the focus using the formula C squared equals A squared minus B squared. So C squared equals 25 minus 4, or 21. When I square root that, I get plus or minus root 21. So that means in each direction here, the plus and the minus, and I'm just going to estimate where it is, I'm going to go a distance of the square root of 21. So that gives me these two ordered pairs, which I can represent as okay, so the distance from the center to the focus is the C, and then the actual foci are the plus or minus root 21, comma 0. So let's try it again with another one. And you might say, like, that's the same problem. It's got the 4, it's got the 25, it's got the center of 0, 0. But the difference is that the bigger number is now under the y squared. So the a squared is 25 and a is 5, and the major axis is 10. But I'm going to go up 5 and down 5. The b squared is 4, and b is under the x, so b is 2, so I go right 2, left 2 for a minor of 4. But the difference is now we're going more up, down. For the foci, I take c squared equals a squared minus b squared, so same kind of thing here where I get plus or minus root 21. That's the distance from the center to the foci. And we should have set up here, the foci are always on the major axis. The foci are always on the major axis. So here it was right left in the first example. Here it's up down. So this ordered pair is 0 negative root 21 and 0 positive root 21. Or we can write the foci as 0 plus or minus root 21. Not bad, right? Okay, well then, it's going to get worse, right? So here, it's not in the form we like, right? It's not equal to 1, so I have to divide everything by 144. If I divide that, I get I would get x squared over 16, and that will always go in evenly, plus y squared over 9 equals 1. So again, I get that nice center of 0, 0. What's my a squared and what's my b squared? A squared is the bigger number, so a squared is 16, a is 4. And you could say plus or minus 4. It really wouldn't matter. It's just trying to get you to go left and right for a distance of 8. And then the b squared is 9, b is 3. Since that's under the y, I go up 3, down 3. And then there's my ellipse. So the major was 4 plus 4 or 8. Minor is 3 plus 3 or 6. Foci are always on the major axis. C squared equals a squared minus b squared. So you can jump ahead and see that it's going to be plus or minus root 7. They're, and I just put these stars. I'm not really paying attention to where. I just know that they're right and left of the center. Now, obviously, life is easier when the center is 0, 0. It won't always be. And like we saw in number 2, it won't always be given to us in the form that we like. So we've got some work to do with our equation here. In number 3, I'm going to use this space up here. It's going to sound familiar to you from when we did circles. X squared is good, but what am I going to do with this? Right, pull out a 4, 6y, leave a blank, equals negative 32. What gets added to both sides? Half of 6 squared is 3, 3 squared is 9, which is really a 36. So I'm going to get x squared plus 4 times y plus 3 squared equals 4. And I'm still not totally done. I have to divide everything by 4. So my final equation, x squared over 4 plus y plus 3 squared over 1 equals 1. So now I have my first problem where the center is not 0, 0. There the center is 0, negative 3. My a squared is the bigger number, so a squared is 4, so a is 2 since that's under the x, right 2, left 2 for a length of 4. The b squared is 1, the b is 1 since that's under the y, up 1, down 1. So I get this little baby, the minor axis is 2, little baby ellipse. C squared equals a squared minus b squared, so plus or minus root 3. It's always on the major axis. Now here's where you got to think a little bit. That was the ordered pair 0, negative 3. I'm going right and left square root of 3. Right, it's going to be plus or minus root 3, comma, negative 3. Right, those would be the ordered pairs for the 2 focus points. The last question is a given the stuff, find the equation. So it tells me, let's see, the foci 0, 8, 0, negative 8. So those are way up here, 0, 8, 0, negative 8. But what does that tell me about my center? It's right in the middle, again, nice. So that tells me that the center is 0, 0. So that's going to make life kind of nice, equals 1. And remember that C is the distance from the center to the focus, so it's also telling me that C is 8. It says the endpoints of the major axis are 0, 10, and 0, negative 10, so those are even farther up here and down here. So basically from 0, 0, I went up 10, down 10. That's the major axis, so A is 10, right? So that means A squared is 100, and it goes under the y squared because I went up and down. So now the only thing I have to find is the b squared, and I can use my formula, c squared, 8 was c, so that's 64, 100 is the a squared, so b squared is 36. I don't even have to find b. So that's the equation of that ellipse. So there you have it, our next shape, ellipses.